Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin momentarily. I would like to take this opportunity to ask you to please silence your cell phones. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the commanding officer, Officer Training Command Newport, welcome to the graduation ceremony for Officer Candidate School Class 0919. Guests are encouraged to take photographs from the viewing area at any time during the ceremony, except during the playing of the national anthem. The order of events for today's ceremony is as follows. At 10:30, Captain Nicholson, United States Navy, commanding officer of Officer Training Command Newport, and Vice Admiral Moore, United States Navy, the guest of honor for today's ceremony, will arrive. Guests will be asked to rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and invocation. The commanding officer and guest of honor will address the graduating class and administer the oath of office. The graduates will then be recognized through the presentation of their commission by the commanding officer and the guest of honor. Guests will be asked to rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Again, allow me to emphasize that you are encouraged to take photographs at any time during the ceremony, with the exception of the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and invocation. Officer Training Command Newport, arriving. Naval Sea Systems Command, arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Sutphin will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we come to you in prayer as our first and highest duty, offering our grateful praise for your abundant goodness. Make us aware of your presence and be known among us as the author of strength, mercy, and joy. The character of Class 0919 has been established through suffering and toil. They have been tested and found worthy. May this be no transitory state. May they be known while they serve throughout their lives and long after for their consummate integrity. What they have gained in knowledge and physical strength match for them now in spiritual will to accomplish far greater things in service to the fleet, the nation, and the world. And may they always recall fondly their formative moments on these grounds. Bless each member of this class team by the measure of what they have generously given. Let them be encouraged by the continued success of these new ensigns. Guide us to honor those united in applause today and the many more they represent who were active in the course of events that led to this celebration. Faithfully we offer these prayers to you, O God, our refuge and shield. Bless those who go forth to stand the watch. May all here gathered find ourselves daily restored, confirmed, strengthened, and established by your mighty hand. In your holy name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Nicholson, Commanding Officer, Officer Train Command Newport.
Admiral Moore, captains, colonels, distinguished guests, family members, friends, and most importantly, soon-to-be commissioned ensigns of Class 0919. Good morning. Good morning, sir. I'd like to start off by formally thanking Navy Band Northeast. Your patriotic music truly inspires us all, and I appreciate you all for being here. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing Navy Band Northeast. It's my sincere honor and privilege to be with all of you this morning as we recognize and celebrate the achievement of these 88 young men and women sitting in front of me, America's very best and brightest, as they are commissioned as the newest ensigns in the United States Navy. For the families, I want to thank you not only for making the long trip to be here this morning, but for the performance of your sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. Your love and support have helped produce the quality individuals seated here and enabled our outstanding team of recruit division commanders, drill instructors, and class officers to further develop them morally, mentally, and physically into future leaders of character and competence. On behalf of the Navy and on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your efforts. For Class 0919, the profession of naval officers, much like the medical and law professions, requires its members to take an oath. In just a few minutes, your parents, spouses, and loved ones, along with the OTC staff and myself, will bear witness as you raise your right hand and swear a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution. This oath carries far more obligations than privileges. It carries the obligation to serve in the most trusted institution in America. According to Gallup polls that stretch back for more than a decade, the American people trust the military more than any other institution, a list that includes the Supreme Court, Congress, organized religion, police, public schools, our medical system, and our criminal justice system. It is up to you to maintain this trust. As George Washington once stated in an address to the officers of the Virginia Regiment, remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make the officer, and that there is more expected from him than the title. As an officer, you will be placed in a position to lead and mentor what one of our most valuable national assets, the enlisted men and women of our Navy. The American people are trusting you to care for and lead them in defending our Constitution. I challenge you to maintain and build upon the American people's trust through your actions as a naval officer. I'm extremely proud of the effort you've expended over the last couple of months. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you all as naval officers into the wardroom of the world's greatest Navy. I have another honor and privilege this morning, that of introducing our guest speaker, Vice Admiral Thomas Moore. He graduated from the Naval Academy in 1981 and is a qualified surface nuclear trained officer. He holds master's degrees in information systems management from George Washington University and nuclear engineering from MIT. Operationally, he served aboard the USS South Carolina, USS Virginia, USS Cunningham, and USS Enterprise. After laterally transferring to the engineering duty officer community in 1994, he served in various staff positions with a supervisor of shipbuilding, the in-service aircraft carriers program, and the Air Warfare Division of the Chief of Naval Operations Staff. He served in command as the Major Program Manager for in-service aircraft carriers, and after serving as Deputy Director and Director for Fleet Readiness on the Chief of Naval Operations Staff, he commanded the Program Executive Office for aircraft carriers. Admiral Moore now serves as the 44th Commander of Naval Sea Systems Command. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming this morning's guest speaker, Vice Admiral Thomas Moore.
Thank you, Captain, and good morning, everybody, and Class 0919. So I don't want to get you completely in trouble with Gunny, but I want you to relax just a little bit, and you don't have to look straight ahead. You can actually look up here while I'm talking to you. It's okay. I will say it was one of the most impressive synchronized glove droppings I've ever seen. So I just think that we're going to have to work on that up on the stage because we were a little bit disjointed. So, Captain Nisman, thanks for that kind introduction and the invitation to speak here today. Ladies and gentlemen, staff of Officer Candidate School, families and friends of our graduates, and most importantly, the class of 0919. Congratulations on day one of what I promise will be an exciting career. Thank you for choosing to serve in the greatest Navy in the world. It's truly a privilege to be here this morning in beautiful Newport. It's even better to be away from Washington, D.C. on such an important day for our Navy and for these 88 young officers, each of them future leaders in our Navy. For the parents and families in the audience, I know you are proud, and I know your sons, daughters, husbands, wives, and significant others will try to explain to you the enormous impact the last 12 weeks has had on their lives. Listen to them. Listen to their enthusiasm, their pride, and know that while they changed, the full transformation has just begun. What you'll hear are the ideals of service before self, honor, courage, and commitment. What you see now is the realization that they belong to something larger than themselves, and the pride of knowing that it is an organization designed to protect and defend our freedom. For the 88 ensigns assembled here today marks the beginning of your naval careers. 5 years from now, you're not likely to remember who your guest speaker was. I certainly hope that you do, but unlikely. But I hope you will remember that on 12 April 2019, you became a member of a very elite organization. You are more than a citizen now. Today, you will wear the cloth of the nation as a commissioned naval officer. Read our history. Nimitz, King, Halsey, the list goes on. We all walk on the shoulders of giants, and you will be asked to continue an unbroken chain of work ethic, intellect, warrior spirit, and the resourcefulness started by those who have gone before you. That is a huge responsibility, but one I know you are ready to take on today. Now, as a 1981 Naval Academy graduate, you may be wondering, what do I have in common with each of you as you begin your journey today? But it is more than you might think. First, my father was a proud graduate of OCS back in the fall of 1958, and he served in the Navy for 28 years. And I'm quick to point out when asked, why did you join the Navy, that I just wanted to be like my dad. So in many ways, if it wasn't for OCS, I would not be standing in front of you today. And in fact, at his graduation in the fall of 1958, my mother was pregnant with me. So I like to say this is my second time speaking, but it's my third time in attendance at an OCS graduation. Second, we're all connected by the fact that no matter our commissioning source, we have all voluntarily raised our right hands and taken an oath so important that the framers of our Constitution wrote an oath clause into the Constitution itself. And we took this oath not to the President of the United States, not to the Chief of Naval Operations. We take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, a document and an idea about freedom and democracy that is what has made this country great throughout the centuries of its existence. I hope you will remember that each and every time you raise your right hand to take this oath. In fact, later today when I give you the oath, I'm going to ask anybody who's on active duty today if you'd like to raise your right hand and reaffirm and take the oath with us. I think it's an important reminder of what sets us apart as professionals. I know you may not be able to see it yet, and right now your mind is probably more focused on crossing that bridge over there and putting Newport in your rearview mirror, and I don't blame you for that. But one day you will look back on your time here fondly. You'll look back on your class candios who seemed so orderly and knowledgeable of the Navy at the time, even though they were only a few weeks ahead of you. And one day you'll look back and understand the lesson behind RLP and the importance of reciting Appendix Bravo by heart while a gunny was hovering over you demanding that you get better. The lessons you've learned here thus far will carry you far, but take a deep breath. Your journey is just beginning, and will lead you around the world to places you could never have dreamed of before. As you leave Newport, you are entering a Navy on the cusp of great change, an era of great power competition where our near-peer competitors, China and Russia, are gaining strength. As our Navy grows to 355 ships, you will be the officers at the forefront. You will be the leaders of a unique and different Navy with new strategies, new technologies, and new ideas. It will be a Navy capable of meeting our adversaries head-to-head on the high seas and equally capable of addressing, if not exploiting, the asymmetric threats of our time. The thing that won't change is the ingenuity and resourcefulness of our leaders, and that is you. People are and will forever remain our biggest asymmetric advantage. It is incumbent upon you to work new and creative solutions to challenges you could never have conceived, perhaps in conditions you would not wish upon your worst enemy. Our sailors are ultimately what sets us apart and ensures we have emerged victorious while many others have suffered defeat. I'm envious of the challenges and envious of the opportunities that lie ahead for you. But make no mistake, there is no shortage of hard work to be done. You have been challenged here, and you will continue to be challenged, but you're ready. Now, before I wrap up, I'd like to offer you a little bit of advice. There's a famous speech given by Admiral William McRaven, a former Navy SEAL at the University of Texas. It's best known as the Make Your Bed speech. But the speech really centers around the thought that what starts here can change the world. And I truly believe that walking out of here today, each one of you has the chance to change the world. And so I'm going to paraphrase 3 parts of his speech that I think are applicable to you here today. First, when Admiral McRaven was a Navy SEAL, they used to make him get up and make his bed every single morning, much like you did here. And he often wondered, why did you make me make my bed every morning? Why was that so important? You may have thought the same thing when you were here. And he said over time when he realized that getting out of bed every morning and making your bed proved that you could complete the first task of the day successfully. And if you could complete the first task of the day successfully, you could complete the second task and the third task and so on. It also taught you the absolute importance of doing the little things right. And what will set you apart from everybody else is the ability to do not only the big things right, but do the little things right when nobody's looking. And finally, if you ever have a day where things don't go right, and those days will happen, at least when you come home, you can come home to a bed that you made, and it will give you hope for a better day tomorrow. So if you want to change the world, make your bed. Second, at SEAL training, they had uniform inspections every week, many like you had here. And they worked meticulously hard to be spotless, flawless in the uniform, probably like you. And at the end of the inspection, no matter how hard they tried, inevitably the gunny would find something wrong. And the penalty in SEAL training was you had to run in your dress uniform and run into the ocean in San Diego and get wet. And then you had to come out and roll around in the sand afterwards. It was affectionately known as what is being a sugar cookie. And for the rest of the day, you had to sit in that cold, wet, sandy uniform. And what they found is the people that complained about how unfair the system was, the people that complained about, don't you understand how hard I tried? Don't you understand how hard the amount of effort I put into this? They didn't make it through SEAL training because they missed the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise was you were never going to be perfect. You were going to fail, and you were probably going to fail often. It's a challenging world out there today. But the measure of the man, the measure of the woman, the measure of the officer is not how often they fail, but is what is it you do when you do fail? Do you stop and complain about how unfair the system is? Do you stop and complain about it wasn't your fault, that it was somebody else's fault? Or do you stand up, brush yourself off, and get back at it? Because those are the officers that we want in the Navy, and those are the officers that are going to be successful. So if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of being a sugar cookie. And lastly, when you're at SEAL training, there's a bell in the courtyard. If anybody's ever seen the movie Lone Survivor, you've probably seen the scene. And at any point during SEAL training, if you just get tired of getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, if you get tired of the constant calisthenics, you get tired of the constant pressure, you get tired of the constant challenges that we put on you each and every day, all you have to do is just walk over and ring the bell. That's it. Ring the bell and you can leave. Ring the bell and you can sleep in. Ring the bell and you can have a comfortable life. But if you want to change the world, don't ever ring the bell. Finally, I'm often asked, what does it take to be successful? How did you get to where you are today? And you may be asking yourself the same question. But your success will be measured far more by how you conduct yourself than the rank that you will achieve. I can assure you that almost 38 years ago today, when I graduated from the Naval Academy, my goal in life was to survive my 5-year commitment and maybe make it to lieutenant. And when I made lieutenant, I decided I would try to make lieutenant commander, and so on. And so the best advice I can offer you today, whether you're planning to stay in this great Navy for 5 years or for 40 years, is this. Do the absolute best you can, each and every day, with the God-given talents you have been given. Don't waste a single day. Embrace the opportunity you have been given. Be humble, be thankful, live with passion, embrace servanthood. And then, make sure you go home each and every day and tell the people you love that you love them. And then get up the next day and repeat. If you do this, I promise you that you will be successful no matter where life takes you in the future. And no matter how long you serve, you will always proudly be able to say that I was a naval officer. So in closing, congratulations, Class 0919, on your commissioning. You have chosen your profession wisely. You have already made friends here who will be with you for your life, and you have a very bright future ahead of you. Welcome to the world's greatest Navy. I am proud to call each and every one of you a shipmate, and I look forward to seeing you in the fleet one day. Thank you.
The graduating class will now receive the oath of office. Would all military personnel in uniform please come to the position of attention?
Hereby accept such appointment.
The graduates assembled will now be recognized by the commanding officer for their achievements while undergoing training here at Officer Train Command Newport. Ensign Anderson. Ensign Anderson has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Anderson is a graduate of the University of Tennessee. Ensign Barrios. Ensign Barrios has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Rafael Peralta DDG 115 in San Diego, California. Ensign Barrios is a graduate of Stony Brook University. Ensign Bland. Ensign Bland has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Bland is a graduate of Suffolk University. Ensign Bucciafero. Ensign Bucciafero has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare Basic course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Bucciafero is a graduate of Hartwick College. Ensign Burnside. Ensign Burnside has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Monterey CG-61 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Burnside is a graduate of the University of Kansas. Ensign Capuano. Ensign Capuano has been designated Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Capuano is a graduate of the Illinois Institute of Technology. Ensign Cavazos. Ensign Cavazos has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Ross DDG 71 in Rhode, Spain. Ensign Cavazos is a graduate of St. Edward's University. Ensign Cockle. Ensign Cockle has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Cockle is a graduate of San Diego State University. Ensign Conley. Ensign Conley has been designated Naval Special Warfare Officer and will be assigned to basic underwater demolition SEAL training in San Diego, California. Ensign Conley is a graduate of the University of Rhode Island. Ensign Davis. Ensign Davis has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Kidd DDG 100 in Everett, Washington. Ensign Davis is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Donis. Ensign Donis has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Donis is a graduate of Ashford University. Ensign Gann. Ensign Gann has been designated Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Information Warfare Basic course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Gann is a graduate of Portland State University. Ensign Girdwood. Ensign Girdwood has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Girdwood is a graduate of Lamar University. Ensign Graham. Ensign Graham has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Graham is a graduate of McAllister College. Ensign Garola. Ensign Garola has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Garola is a graduate of Southern Illinois University. Ensign Hudson. Ensign Hudson has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Hudson is a graduate of West Virginia University. Ensign Imbaloni. Ensign Imbaloni has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Imbaloni is a graduate of the University of Mississippi. Ensign Jatib. Ensign Jatib has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Jatib is a graduate of East Carolina University. Ensign Casper. Ensign Casper has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Casper is a graduate of Ohio State University. Ensign Kostenko. Ensign Kostenko has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS San Diego, LPD-22, in San Diego, California. Ensign Kostenko is a graduate of Florida State University. Ensign Kurbitz. Ensign Kurbitz has been designated Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Donald Cook, DDG 75 in Rhode, Spain. Ensign Kurbitz is a graduate of Michigan State University. Ensign Lamar-Chenet. Ensign Lamar-Chenet has been designated Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Lamar-Chenet is a graduate of the University of North Texas. Ensign Lindsay. Ensign Lindsay has been designated Civil Engineering Corps Officer and will be assigned Amphibious Construction Battalion 1 in San Diego, California. Ensign Lindsay is a graduate of the University of Colorado, Denver. Ensign Madu. Ensign Madu has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Ross, DDG 71 in Rhode, Spain. Ensign Madu is a graduate of Michigan State University. Ensign Metzger. Ensign Metzger has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Metzger is a graduate of Ohio State University. Ensign Mosheim. Ensign Mosheim has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Mosheim is a graduate of Ohio State University. Ensign Miles. Ensign Miles has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Miles is a graduate of the University of Michigan. Ensign Naowen. Ensign Naowen has been designated Civil Engineering Corps Officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineering Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Naowen is a graduate of Sacramento State University. Ensign O'Donnell. Ensign O'Donnell has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign O'Donnell is a graduate of Virginia Tech. Ensign Orlando. Ensign Orlando has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Paul Hamilton, DDG 60 in San Diego, California. Ensign Orlando is a graduate of George Mason University. Ensign Pico. Ensign Pico has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS John S. McCain, DDG 56 in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Pico is a graduate of the University of Florida. Ensign Kilos. Ensign Kilos has been designated Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Kilos is a graduate of the University of California, Irvine. Ensign Ruano. Ensign Ruano has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ruano is a graduate of Florida Atlantic University. Ensign Schwinn. Ensign Schwinn has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Schwinn is a graduate of Old Dominion University. Ensign Shipman. Ensign Shipman has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to the Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Shipman is a graduate of the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. Ensign Sparks. Ensign Sparks has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Sparks is a graduate of the University of California, Irvine. Ensign Stewart. Ensign Stewart has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Carter Hall, LSD 50 in Little Creek, Virginia. Ensign Stewart is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. Ensign Vandermoss. Ensign Vandermoss has been designated Civil Engineer Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 4 in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Vandermoss is a graduate of the University of Massachusetts, Lowell. Ensign Ware. Ensign Ware has been designated an Explosive Ordnance Disposal Officer and will be assigned to Naval Diving and Salvage Training Center in Panama City Beach, Florida. Ensign Ware is a graduate of Florida State University. Ensign Wicks. Ensign Wicks has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Portland, LPD 27 in San Diego, California. Ensign Wicks is a graduate of the University of Iowa. Ensign Williams. Ensign Williams has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Williams is a graduate of Francis Marion University. Ensign Alex. Ensign Alex has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Alex is a graduate of the University of Alaska, Anchorage. Ensign Allen. Ensign Allen has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Leyte Gulf, CG 55 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Allen is a graduate of Roanoke University. Ensign Armstrong. Ensign Armstrong has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Armstrong is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Bauer. Ensign Bauer has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Bauer is a graduate of Virginia Tech. Ensign Bills. Ensign Bills has been designated a Naval Special Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Naval Special Warfare Group 2 in Little Creek, Virginia. Ensign Bills is a graduate of Oklahoma State University. Ensign Brooks. Ensign Brooks has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Brooks is a graduate of the University of Central Florida. Ensign Brown. Ensign Brown has been designated an Information Professional Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Brown is a graduate of the American University. Ensign Burns. Ensign Burns has been designated Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Burns is a graduate of the University of California, San Diego. Ensign Chappell. Ensign Chappell has been designated Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Barry, DDG 52, in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Chappell is a graduate of the University of Houston. Ensign Clement. Ensign Clement has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Clement is a graduate of the University of Memphis. Ensign Coward. Ensign Coward has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Coward is a graduate of Kennesaw State University. Ensign DeMann. Ensign DeMann has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign DeMann is a graduate of Middle Tennessee State University. Ensign Elworthy. Ensign Elworthy has been designated Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Elworthy is a graduate of the University of Oregon. Ensign Fredenberg. Ensign Fredenberg has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Fredenberg is a graduate of Biola University. Ensign Ghosh. Ensign Ghosh has been designated Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Ghosh is a graduate of Binghamton University. Ensign Greer. Ensign Greer has been designated Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Greer is a graduate of Auburn University. Ensign Horn. Ensign Horn has been designated Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Horn is a graduate of Golden Gate University. Ensign Huval. Ensign Huval has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Huval is a graduate of the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Ensign Iokia. Ensign Iokia has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Portland, LPD 27 in San Diego, California. Ensign Iokia is a graduate of the University of Charleston. Ensign Collins. Ensign Collins has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Somerset, LPD 25 in San Diego, California. Ensign Collins is a graduate of the University of Laverne. Ensign Iorio. Ensign Iorio has been designated Cryptologic Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Iorio is a graduate of Utica College. Ensign James. Ensign James has been designated a Civil Engineering Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 1 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Ensign James is a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh. Ensign Jimenez. Ensign Jimenez has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Jimenez is a graduate of the University of California, Riverside. Ensign Johnson. Ensign Johnson has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Leyte Gulf, CG-55, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Johnson is a graduate of Alabama A&M University. Ensign Lacombe. Ensign Lacombe has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Halsey, DDG-97, in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Ensign Lacombe is a graduate of Northern Arizona University. Ensign Lauricella. Ensign Lauricella has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Ralph Johnson, DDG-114, in Everett, Washington. Ensign Lauricella is a graduate of the College at Brockport. Ensign Lehman. Ensign Lehman has been designated Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Lehman is a graduate of Pennsylvania State University. Ensign McComas. Ensign McComas has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Monterey, CG-61, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign McComas is a graduate of the American University. Ensign Moore. Ensign Moore has been designated Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Benfold, DDG-65, in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Moore is a graduate of Alabama State University. Ensign Mulder. Ensign Mulder has been designated Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Mulder is a graduate of the University of West Florida. Ensign Norales. Ensign Norales has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Norales is a graduate of California State University, Los Angeles. Ensign Osofsky. Ensign Osofsky has been designated Naval Special Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training in Coronado, California. Ensign Osofsky is a graduate of the University of Charleston, West Virginia. Ensign Penner. Ensign Penner has been designated a Cryptologic Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Penner is a graduate of Liberty University. Ensign Poling. Ensign Poling has been designated student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Poling is a graduate of the Georgia Institute of Technology. Ensign Reed. Ensign Reed has been designated a nuclear submarine officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Reed is a graduate of Montana Tech University. Ensign Ruff. Ensign Ruff has been designated student naval flight officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ruff is a graduate of the University of Michigan. Ensign Sanchez. Ensign Sanchez has been designated Roosevelt, DDG 80 in Mayport, Florida. Ensign Sanchez is a graduate of Southern Illinois University. Ensign Seymour. Ensign Seymour has been designated Civil Engineer Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 133 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Ensign Seymour is a graduate of California State University, Long Beach. Ensign Soley. Ensign Soley has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Soley is a graduate of Wayne State University. Ensign Spinney. Ensign Spinney has been designated Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Mitchell, DDG 57 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Spinney is a graduate of the University of Arizona. Ensign Stewart. Ensign Stewart has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Stewart is a graduate of San Diego State University. Ensign Terrio. Ensign Terrio has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Terrio is a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley. Ensign Tolley. Ensign Tolley has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Tolley is a graduate of Kettering University. Ensign Turner. Ensign Turner has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Turner is a graduate of McGill University. Ensign Vandervoort. Ensign Vandervoort has been designated Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Vandervoort is a graduate of the University of Arizona. Ensign Welch. Ensign Welch has been designated a Cryptologic Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare Basic Course in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Welch is a graduate of George Mason University. Ensign Wickham. Ensign Wickham has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Wickham is a graduate of Auburn University. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Please remain in your places until after the graduating class has taken their class photo. On behalf of the commanding officer, Officer Train Command, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony. That was a damn mouthful. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
any car, but that car is perfect. Remember, we picked your nose on. Yeah. We can zoom in. We zoomed in.
Oh, y'all don't want to do the camera?
Yeah, we did.
I was thinking.
CJ, hey man, you're picking your nose.
CJ dropped the salute too early after I reminded him not to. Did y'all get that? I hope you got it all.
Well, we get the stage.
Him and LT dropped the salute early at Admiral, right?
Oh, we didn't catch that.